Good evening, boys and girls. This is Miss Susan. I'm coming from YouTube. I'm in class with you today on March 19th. Today is Thursday, and we will be doing lesson 117 out of your binders today. So we are going to continue practicing our Bible scriptures, and that begins with Exodus 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And then Isaiah 55, 6. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. So we are combining all of our Bible story today, boys and girls. And we're going to begin with how Jesus, he was traveling to the city of Judea. And he sat down to rest for a little while. And the news had spreaded that the great prophet Jesus was in town. So all the women and children, they began to just gather around Jesus and listen to everything he had to say. And Jesus, his disciples, they were a little confused, as they really didn't want anyone coming around Jesus. But Jesus, he was very displeased at what they had said to the children. They wanted them to go away. So Jesus, he said to them, "Let the children come to me," he commanded. "Do not send them away, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Then Jesus took the children into his arms, and he put his hands around their heads, and he blessed them. Another time, the disciples came to Jesus with a question. "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" they asked. The disciples were always worried about who was important and who wasn't. Perhaps they thought Jesus would answer Peter, John, or James. But no, Jesus did something that surprised them all. He pointed to the little children that was in the crowd. He called the little children to come to him and had the children stand where everyone could see them. Then Jesus taught the disciples a very important lesson. "I tell you," Jesus said, "that if anyone who won't come to God as a little child will never be allowed into God's kingdom." He explained what he meant. "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as a little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven." It takes knowing that we're not good enough or smart enough to work things out in our own way. Only those who believe in Jesus with the simple, humble, and trusting faith of a child can be members of the family of God. Jesus said, "Whosoever shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me." This shows us how much the Lord treasures the children who believe in him. So he treasures each and every one of you. You may think I am the only child now, and it doesn't matter to God how I behave, but it does. Jesus is just as interested in your behavior. He watches everything you do, and he is pleased when you do right and displeased when you do wrong. So your actions matter very much to Jesus. So Jesus explained to his disciples why they needed to let the children come to him. "For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost," he was saying. Children are lost just like adults. They are sinners and in need of a Savior. Let them come to me and be saved, and let them follow me all the days of their lives. To show them and us what a terrible thing it is to be lost and to explain how the lost can be found, he told a wonderful story about the shepherd who had a lost sheep. So we went over this the other day, but there was a shepherd who had 100 sheep to care for. The shepherd knew each sheep and called them each by their name. Every morning the good shepherd took his flock out into the pasture to find fresh green grass and cool water to drink. Sometimes the path was rough and rugged, though, and the sheep would sometimes fall off the path and become lost. The sheep can't see very far ahead of them, and without the shepherd to guide them, they would maybe get lost. But the shepherd knew the way, and he always went in front of the sheep to lead them. So lions and bears and other wild beasts often lurked in the bushes to jump out on these little lambs. It was easy for a lamb to also fall into deep holes, and a sheep could easily break a leg or even starve, and he wouldn't be found by a shepherd. So sometimes a lamb continued to run off into the woods and wander away from his shepherd. Each time the shepherd would call him back, though, and if the lamb didn't come, the shepherd would go look for him. As this continued, the shepherd would take his rod and strike the lamb across the leg, breaking the lamb's leg. So I know, boys and girls, this sounds a little mean, but the shepherd had to do this in order to teach the lamb to obey him. So, though the lamb's leg was hurt, yet how good it felt for the lamb to be close to his shepherd when his shepherd did finally find him. But the lamb learned a very important lesson to not run away again after his leg had been healed. So, bringing the sheep back to the pasture of a night, the good shepherd would count his sheep as they entered into all the sheepfold. There were supposed to be 100 sheep, but he found that were only 99, so that meant that one was missing. Up on the mountainside, the shepherd went crawling against the cold, bitter wind. The sharp thorns pricked and tore his hands and his face, and his feet slipped and slid all across the treacherous rocks, calling the sheep by his name. As he drew near enough for the lost sheep to hear him, the lost sheep recognized the shepherd's voice and carefully baa at the shepherd. The shepherd leaned over the huge rock, and he saw his sheep as it was stuck into the thorn bush. So how happy the shepherd was to have found his lost sheep. In a gentle, soothing voice, the shepherd said, "Don't cry, I will get you out." In another moment, he had picked the lost sheep up out of the briars and tucked him under his arm and began his journey home. The sheep was very relieved to see the shepherd and feel his body against the shepherd's warm body. So the shepherd hoisted up him and carried him on his shoulders and down the mountain to go home. The shepherd called to his friends to tell them to be glad with him. "Rejoice with me," he said, "for I have found my sheep which was lost." The good shepherd put the lost lamb with all of the other sheep, and there was his 100 sheep once again. So, have you all guessed it yet? Yes, Jesus is the good shepherd. Jesus said, "I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and am known of mine." We are like the lost lamb. Sometimes we can become disobedient and lost and with no way to save ourselves, only if we accept the loving care of Jesus, the good shepherd, and can be saved. Jesus did even more than the shepherd did in the story. He said, "I lay down my life for the sheep." Jesus loved us so much that he died for us. Perhaps you have never let him come into your heart to be your Savior, and you don't know what it's like to be lost. But Jesus is the kindest person who ever lived, and the kindest thing that Jesus did was to lay down his life for his sheep, like us. And he died on the cross for our sins. So children, just like you all, are a part of God's flock. So flock meaning all of you together. So, Jesus, the Good Shepherd, finished explaining to his disciples why children were so important. Children can be his lambs, a part of his flock. He wants children to come to know him, to be saved. He wants them to follow his gentle leading while they are young, so that when they become older, they will still be following him and doing his work that he's meant for you each to do. Jesus wants to lead his children into the green pastures of his word, which is the Bible, where they can learn wonderful things about him. So the Bible is like food for our souls. It makes us strong so that we can resist all the temptations to do wrong that the world tries to get us to do. When we feed ourselves with the Word of God, we grow, and we don't stay baby Christians. We become older. So children are so important to Jesus Christ that he calls children everywhere to come and follow him. Perhaps you could help him by telling the children in your neighborhood about the Good Shepherd who cares for you. And Jesus also says, Behold, I stand at the door and knock, and if any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and sup with him and he with me. Jesus stands outside the door of each person's heart, wanting to come into his life and forgive him of his sins and bring joy and blessings. Notice, in this picture, there's no handle on the door. So, it is the door to our hearts. Jesus will not force his way into your life, though. He always waits until you invite him to come in. But we must open the door of your heart from the inside to let Jesus come in. So he wants not only to come into your heart, but he also wants to sup with you, which means to have joy of sweet fellowship that comes from knowing and obeying God. So why not open your heart to him, for he's the Good Shepherd, and he invites all the children of the world to come to him. So that concludes our Bible story, boys and girls. And today we're going to go ahead and we will do letters and sounds, page 133 and 134. Before we begin that, we're going to go ahead and go over our blend cards. So Miss Susie's going to go a little slower through these. I have quite a bit. So today we're just going to be reviewing the sounds that it makes, the blends. And I also want to talk about how that whenever certain vowels are put with consonants, which is all the other letters of the alphabet, subtract the vowels. Remember, we talk about that in class, that words can make different sounds, okay? So, right here we have bra, bra. So, it's saying that short vowel sound in the A. And now we have our long vowel sound. So, A as in acorn, bray. So, now we have bre for our short vowel. And for our long vowel, we have our E as in eagle for that E. So, bree. Now we have brie. And we also, for our long vowel, we have bra. I as in ice cream. Now we also have bra, because you want to make that O sound like you're talking about an ostrich, boys and girls, for our short sound with that smile. But when we flip it over, we have our long O sound, which is bro. So that would be O as in open. And now we have bruh with our short U. That's as in umbrella. And then we have our long U with our bruh sound, our blend. And we want to make that sound like U as in uniform. So, brew. Now we have our D, boys and girls. If you notice, I know some of you still get a little confused with our B. That is our ball bat and then our ball. Okay, so when you see that ball bat and ball, that's our B. But with our D, if you notice, that ball bat is not first. So that's how we'll recognize that that's a D, boys and girls. So we have dry for our short sound. For our long vowel, we're going to do A as in acorn. So dray. Next we have dre. E as in elephant. So dre. And then we have our long E, boys and girls, and that's E as in eagle, so dre. I'm sorry, dree. See, Miss Susie has to work on it too, boys and girls, just like you all. Okay, so next with our short vowel sound, our I, we have I as in inchworm, so dry. Next, we have our long vowel, which is I as in ice cream, so dry. Next, we have draw. Next, we have our long O sound, which is O as in open, dro. Next, we have our long U, or our short U sound, dra. And we want to make our long U sound like U, uniform. So, drew. Next, we have pra. For our long one, we have A as in acorn, so pray. Next, we have pre for our short. For our long sound, we want to make it sound like an eagle, so pre. Next, we have pry. So I as in inchworm, E as in inchworm, pre. And next we have I for ice cream, so pry. Praw for our short one. Our long one is pro. Remember, we want to make that O sound like O. O for open. Next we have pruh. So as in umbrella, our short U sound. Our long U sound, we want to make that sound like uniform. So U, prue. Gra for our short one. For our long vowel sound, we have A as in acorn, so gray. Next, we have gre. And then we have gree, E as in eagle for the long sound. Now we have gree. So I as in inchworm, gree. Next we have our long I sound, and it's going to be I as in ice cream, so gra. Next we have graw and grow. Next we have gruh, so as in umbrella, and then U as in uniform, so grew. Sma. A as in acorn, so smay. Smeh. For our long one, we have E as in eagle, so smee. Smee is our short I. For our long I, we have sma. I as in ice cream for the long sound. Sma. Smo. Sma. And then we have U as in uniform, so sma. Remember SC, that's one of our special sounds, so sky. And then skay. Scare. And then we want to make our E sound like eagle, so ski. Ski. For our short sound, long sound is sky. Skaw, Sko, Ska, and then U as in uniform, so Skoo, Sky, and then A as in acorn, so Skay, Scare, Scare will be our short sound, and then Ski, E as in eagle. So I as in inchworm, so sky, or ski, ski. And then we have our long I, so sky, as in I is in ice cream. Next we have our skaw. So O as in aw, skaw. And then we have our long O sound, O, sko. Next we have our ska. And then we have our U as in uniform, so skoo. Okay. All right, boys and girls, now we are going to review our special sounds. So, CK says K. CK says K as in duck. E in me. E in me. O in go. O in go. Y in fly. Y in fly. A in pray. A in pray. St in stop. St in stop. Pull in plane. Pull in plane. Fur in frog. Fur in frog. Tur in train. Tur in train. Sh in ship. Sh in ship. So th in thick. Th in thick. The in this. The in this. Bull in block. Bull in block. Cool in clock. Cool in clock. Full in flake. Full in flake. Ghoul in glue. Ghoul in glue. Burr in bride. Burr in bride. Dur in drum. Dur in drum. Purr in pray. Purr in pray. Gur in grin. Gur in grin. Sm in smoke. Sm in smoke. Sk in scat. Sk in scat. Sk in skate. Sk in skate. Great job, boys and girls. So that completes our special sounds. We are also going to use those here in just a little bit within our lesson, as we are going to move into circling special sounds. So we're getting into some of that first grade work there. So I'm excited to introduce that skill to you guys. But first, we're going to be going over some spelling words. So if you notice, a lot of these are using our special sounds, just like what we just reviewed. So we have cool clothes. We have brick, brick. Then, then. Plate, plate. Fry, fry. Float, float. Taste, taste. K. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, so next we are going to be reviewing how to circle our special sounds, boys and girls. Okay, so when we circle our special sounds, we do just like what it says to do. So if you look on number 3 on page 133 in letters and sounds, that's where you all are going to apply this skill that I'm about to introduce to you. So the question the instructions that it says to do is circle the special sounds and mark the vowels. So we know how to mark our vowels very well, boys and girls. So we have first clothes. So that's exactly what you have on your paper in the 18-wheeler truck, if you notice. So your special sound in that word, cool. So we're going to circle that, CL. And then we're going to mark that vowel. So there's 2 vowels in the word. So what would I do with that first vowel, boys and girls? That's right. We'd mark it with a line, and we're going to cross out that second one because it's silent, right? It's still there, but it doesn't make a sound. So next we have brick. So let's see if we can figure out the special sounds in that one. We have BR, right? So we're going to circle that. And then we also have CK, boys and girls. So let's circle that one as well. And then we're going to mark our I. Now that's the only vowel. So we're going to mark that with a smile, aren't we, boys and girls? So then we have the word then. So we are going to, that TH, there's one of our special sounds, isn't it? Remember, in thick and the in this. Or we could also do then. But we're going to circle that special sound, that TH. And also, we can't forget to mark our vowel with a smile. That's the only vowel. Mark that with a smile. So next we have a plate. So pool, does that pool sound familiar? That's right, that's one of our special sounds. We're going to circle that one as well. And then we've got 2 vowels. So we're going to mark that vowel with our line and cross out the next one. Okay? So next we have fry. So you might be wondering what to do with this one. This one might be a little confusing for some, but I'm here to help. So fur. So remember, that is a special sound, fur. And then our Y in fly, remember that special sound? We're going to circle that one as well. So there we've got 2 special sounds. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the word float. So full, there's our special sound. And next we have O, so that is, we got 2 vowels, so we're going to put a line over that one and cross out that A. Next, we have taste. Uh-oh. Can you guys help me find the special sound? St, st. Remember ST in stop? It's also in the word taste. Did you guys hear it? So there's our special sound. We're going to mark that vowel and cross out our E, boys and girls. So next, we have K. So remember A in pray. So we're going to circle that special sound, okay? So there's a few more. There's around 4 more words, looks like, on your paper. And I believe my K-5 class is smart enough to do those on their own. So go ahead and continue to do those on your own. I believe you all have the skills to do that. Okay, boys and girls, so on number 1 in our letters and sounds page, it says, write the blend your teacher says. Okay, so some of these are going to be 1 vowel words, meaning the short vowel, And then a few of them are going to be using the long sound in our vowel. Okay? So for number 1, the first blend that you're going to write on those lines is our fi. So I as in inchworm, fi. And that is going to be, you're going to either put a smile over it or a line. Fi. Fi. So notice how I'm saying that I. And that will let you know if it's a long or a short sound. Okay, so for the next one, we are going to be, I almost told you the vowel. For the next one, we are going to say, hey. So notice how I am saying that blend. All these blends, boys and girls, are going to be 2 letters. 2 letters. So, hey. For the third one, make sure that in that last one that we mark our vowel. How I said the vowel. In the third one, you're also going to mark that vowel. And we are going to say that as toe. Toe. So notice how I said that O, and then put that beginning sound with that word. It should only be 2 letters, boys and girls. So number 2, it says mark the special sounds with the pictures. So we have ter, gla, sh, and st. So you all are going to draw lines as to what special sound goes with the pictures. So for number 3, we already reviewed those. If you all need any help, please let Miss Susan know through your parent by a text or a phone call, and I will do my best to help. So we're going to continue on page 134 in letters and sounds. And it says, fun with phonics. Circle the word that names the picture. So we've done this many, many times in class. All you have to do is just circle the word that goes with the picture. So we have a boat, a cake, cup, and seal. And then number 2 on page 134 says, read this sentence and do what it says. Okay, so you're going to read that sentence and then do what it says. Okay, so this concludes our phonics lesson. We're going to go ahead and move into our numbers. So we have been talking about after numbers, boys and girls. So the number that comes after 10 is, that's right, 11. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the before numbers. Okay, so if you look up here on my dry erase board, on our top line and our bottom, we're going to be reviewing before numbers. Okay, so on our top line, we're going to be doing the after, and then on the bottom, we're going to be doing before. So notice these are out of sequence here on the bottom. Those do not go one after the other. Okay, so for number, so what number comes after 2? That's right, 3. And the number that comes after 4 is 5. The number that comes after 6 is, that's right, 7. The number that comes after 8 is 9. Very good. So, let's count together. Let's put a 1 here just so it makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now, those were our after numbers. This is our before. So what number comes before 7? Let's look on our number chart. So here's our 7. So what number comes before? That's right, 6. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, so here is our 4. So what number comes before 4? Here's 4. Before 3. Okay, so here's our 10. What number comes before 10? So here's our 10, but we're going to move it on down here at the number 9. Very good, boys and girls. Okay, so number 9. Okay, so here's our after numbers. Here's our before numbers. So hopefully you all can understand a little bit about before. So if you notice in our before numbers, it's 1 less than the after number. 1 is less than 7. 3 is less than 4. 9 is less than 10. So those are our before numbers. But if you notice in our after numbers, those numbers are 1 number bigger, right? 7 is bigger than 6. 5 is bigger than 4. 3 is 1 bigger than 2. And 9 is 1 bigger than 8. Okay? All right, so now we're going to move into our number skills page. That is going to be number skills, page 95. And on number 1, we are going to do our addition. So you all can use those little fingers if you would like. And go ahead and write your total in those squares provided on your paper. And then on number 2, you're going to write the number. So this is where it comes to, hang on one moment, let Miss Susan get her chart. Okay, this is where it comes to this chart. So I know many of you are probably saying, Mom and Dad, I don't have the chart. Okay, but just try your best to remember and recall back to what we've been taught in class. So write the number 10. So here's our 10. T-E-N, but you're actually going to write the number. Okay? So number 7, S-E-V-E-N, 7. Number 4, F-O-U-R, 4. Number 9, N-I-N-E, 9. Number 6, S-I-X, 6. So in number 3, you're going to be back on the time, boys and girls. So we've got an hourly time and half-hour time. So half-hour time meaning 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. And then our hourly time meaning 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Okay? So our first time, you're going to write down what time that is at the red clock, at the blue clock, and at the green clock. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and review our time. Okay, boys and girls. So right here, I have 1:30. Okay? So remember, we're counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so 1:30. Very good. Okay, so right now we're only going to focus on the half-hour time and then the hourly time. 1 o'clock. Okay? Okay, so number 4 on our number skills page on 95, you are going to write the number that comes before. Okay, so we already went through that. So what number comes before 7? What number comes before 3? And what number comes before 10? So, boys and girls, when you finish your letters and sounds, page 133 and 134, and your number skills, page 95, you're going to go ahead and work on your number writing tablet, page 45. And we're going to do some reading today with I Do Read, book 1, 2, and 3. You all are going to read as much as you can in each of those books. Again, that's I Do Read, book 1, 2, and 3. And when you get finished with that, you may also go on lesson 2 on the education.com website that I've provided to each of your parents to practice more of our classroom skills. So again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and this concludes our lesson. I hope everyone is staying well and safe, and you guys have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be our lesson 118, and tomorrow will be Friday. So guys, that's our last day, and then next week is spring break. I will not require you all to do any work on spring break. Have fun, and you all enjoy family time, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, boys and girls.